This news program is proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Now Biscuits.
$70 million Kina budget for 2023 national census. Women Council backs Winnie Kiap for GG Post. And not Bougainville by-election questioned. A very good evening. This is National EMTV News. I'm Godwin Eki. Thank you for joining us. The Prime Minister's promise that a national census will be conducted this year straight after the 2022 national general election will soon become a reality with the announcement that a 70 million Kina budget has been allocated towards the 2023 national census. Minister for National Planning and Finance Rainbow Paita made the announcement on the floor of Parliament today. Minister Paita also urged all those that are engaged in the government system to work in collaboration for a concrete outcome. The statement was raised following a question without notice from the member for Kundiawa Gembel, Mugua Dilu, regarding the 2023 census.
With the recent speculation circulating on social media on the exact population figures of the country, which is now said to be 17 million, calls for serious considerations. Today, member for Kundiawa Gembok pointed this out when questioning the planning minister on the plans and progress of the 2023 national census.
Papua New Guinea today does not know the exact number of population it has. The last national population census was conducted in 2011. Which had the population at about 7 million. Now, recently, a United Nations report estimated that our population is at 17 million. That's a huge jump, and we don't know exactly whether we have 10 million or 17 million people in the country. The Prime Minister has indicated that we will conduct the national census this year in 2023. So my first question to the National Planning Minister is that when do we expect the national census exercise to commence?
Minister responsible for National Planning and Finance, Rainbow Paita, in response, highlighted that the national census was earmarked to be conducted 2 years ago. However, due to COVID-19, this did not eventuate. The last proper national census was carried out in 2011, and Minister Paita revealed this morning that a budget of 70 million Kina has been allocated to carry out this exercise.
At the time when we were camping down on the movement of people, we were not able to do that exercise. Thus, we said we'd defer to this year for us to do a more concrete and a very good census program. In terms of budget, Mr. Speaker, we have budgeted for the census this year. And I thank Parliament for the support and especially Cabinet in allocating 70 million Kina for the census work this year. Though that is not enough for the work, we are happy that development partners have also come on board and they will support us in the census program.
Paita highlighted that they will be using innovative technology for effective results with concrete outcomes.
What we're getting from bilateral partners and our development partners as well, we are able to do a more smarter approach to the census, such as using innovative technology and such as radio sensing and all the other technologies that is available now for us to do a more effective census program for this year.
Minister Paita also urged everyone involved in the government system to work in collaboration to have a concrete outcome for the 2023 national census.
PM and NEC were able to put together a committee which is basically composed of NSO, PM's department, multi-task departments, and at the same time provincial governments will also be involved in the process. District governments, district agencies such as implementing agencies such as DDAs will be involved, council presidents, ward recorders, the whole of government throughout the government structure will be involved in trying to do a more concrete census for this year.
The 2023 national census will be conducted deep into 2024, according to earlier statement made by the Prime Minister. This is to ensure everyone is identified. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
Human trafficking in country is becoming a serious concern. Member for Raikos District Kesi Sawang said this issue has been brought to light by media houses and should be addressed immediately. Sawang questioned the Minister for Internal Security regarding some of these cases. Minister Chamalili, in response, says the government is looking into these issues and is doing its part to do a cleaning up in the office.
Member for Raikos explained 2 human trafficking cases in PNG, one of which was the case regarding 3 ladies being held hostage. She then asked for the update of the case. She also asked if there is a specific section inside the police department that is looking into those specific cases in the country.
PNG human traffickers exploit women and children the most, and they are involved in forced labor. So, Mr. Speaker, these are issues that have been continuously reported by our media. And question blomi now go emosem under the Marape Rosa government, a lot of emphasis is now put on trade and investment as well as law and order. So, question blomi emosem enough Minister of Internal Affairs talks what has happened to these cases. And number 2, if he can inform the Parliament if there is a section in the police force that is specifically dealing with these issues of human trafficking.
In response, Minister responsible for Internal Security, Peter Temalili Jr. says for too long the department has been compromising. The government is now playing its part to clean up the system to get things in order. Minister Tamalili further says they are looking into alternatives like working closely with bilateral partners to help the police force who need this much support.
That this government, and I must thank all you leaders for providing the appropriate support to the force, that we are taking every measure possible to clean up our system, provide the appropriate leadership within the system.
He further says the case with the Sri Lankans and the 3 hostages is a bit serious and sensitive. Therefore, the internal affairs of the police department will carry out this task.
This particular case, one time all is Sri Lankans, not just them, involved in some senior team members, Blayumi. Because of the sensitivity, we will provide information thereafter. At this point in time, you may allow internal affairs team long police long carry out this exercise.
Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
With only 1 day to go before the 11th Governor General of PNG is elected on the floor of Parliament, the NCD Women's Council have taken the lead to voice their support for Ms. Winnie Kiap for the post of Vice Regal. The women have appealed to members of Parliament to vote for Ms. Kiap when the secret ballot takes place.
Parliament will sit tomorrow, and the first order of business is the election of the Vice-Regal, with 3 contestants vying for the post. Today, the NCD Women's Council gathered at the Community Development Office at Waigani to show their support for former PNG High Commissioner to the UK, Winnie Kiap.
Mipla come out strongly, lo support him. This la move now it will come up, where Mipla supporting Mary candidate, Madam Winnie Kiap. Mipla believe strongly that we got this the quality, credentials, and we got longen. And what about one time Papua New Guinea government, lo representing Papua New Guinea, long all foreign mission positions that I'm taking up longen. Mipla believe strong longen, awesome, and one candidate and fit lo take him up this la position.
Long-time women's advocate Barbara Toya said after 47 years, it is high time we see a female take the largely ceremonial post of Governor General.
Winnie Kiap has the credentials. She's a career diplomat who has represented this country abroad. We trust that she would be a good candidate for the Governor General's post. And with that, she will hold the confidence for women to be given such high positions in this country. And it is also during this term of Parliament that we will be celebrating our 50 years of independence.
The women have collectively stated that they have secured 20 seats in the public gallery to show their presence and support whilst observing the secret ballot. They are appealing to the members of Parliament to seriously consider Ms. Kiap when casting their votes.
Come to a position where there is a woman candidate going for the Governor's General seat in the Parliament of this nation. On behalf of the National Council of Women, which comprises of the 22 provinces in this country, I appeal to the members of the Parliament and those that are responsible to give the women this mandate, because it is time, it is due. Women have to find their space. Women have to be recognized, and giving them this post will be a big leap for the women in this country.
Former Member of Parliament and National Alliance Foundation member Stephen Pakowin is also in the running for the GG post, along with the incumbent Governor-General Grand Chief Sir Bob Darai, who will be vying for a second consecutive term. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
During question time yesterday, Deputy Opposition Leader and Member for Kirawina Goodenough, Douglas Tomuriesa, queried the government if its announced family relief package will be in effect anytime soon. Tomuriesa said a lot of families are still feeling the pinch of the rapid increase in prices of basic store goods and services. He also raised concerns on employees throughout the country being still paid under the minimum wages rate.
Mr. Tomuriesa questioned if the 610 million Kina relief package announced during its supplementary budget last year is already in effect. He said a lot of families are struggling to sustain their livelihood with increase of basic goods and services, therefore questioned when the announced relief package will come into effect this year and what the holdup is in its implementation.
I have a receipt right before me, Mr. Speaker, and no one on this floor will tell me that what I'm saying is rubbish. Because a receipt in my hand shows that a packet of chicken with only 4 pieces inside will cost a family 37 kina for a packet of kukai. Oxen palm has gone through the ceilings. Rice has gone through the ceilings. When can our government effect the home relief package that was announced in the budget of 2023? And if not, when? What is the delay?
Similarly, Mr. Tomuriesa questioned if the government is looking at ways to assist employees throughout the country who are paid well below the minimum wages rate. Responding on behalf of Treasurer Ian Lingstaki, who was ill and did not attend, Prime Minister James Marape confirmed the relief package of 610 million kina announced and highlighted some issues that his government has embarked on last year and will continue into this year.
Last year we got 610 or 11 million kina helping all Papua New Guineans in a tough time. This year, we also put him in program in our budget this year to help our citizens who are toiling through these tough times. We also, if you look deep also in our budget, for instance, you may put him money or free education from elementary, including paying project fee below, go along secondary school, right up to our programs to assist our universities and colleges with TESAs, hackers, and the higher education loan program. This is intended, while we are not here to totally alleviate all problems, this is intended to lighten the burden so that they could complement extra take home to cover for the essential services, whether it's essential needs.
Prime Minister Marape further clarified that the government will not fully solve all these problems in one go. However, will continue to assist families through the government's announced relief package. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso highlighted that there have been talks between Prime Minister James Marape and the Foreign Affairs Minister Justin Kechenko regarding the visa processing for Australia. Rosso also alluded that a reciprocated treatment will be applied in regard to granting a visa to other countries. This statement was made following a question raised by the member for North Fly, James Donald, on the visa processing for Australia in Parliament today.
Visa processing for Australia has been very complicated over the years for PNG citizens to obtain visa. This issue was raised today in Parliament by member for North Fly.
Outstanding, you mean illustrative. Now, one problem is the issue of visa, where citizens of country will face him. Now, the need to have the process of visa make it easy, so both countries you make a travel go come. Now, me understanding was it was raised in the two prime ministers discussion, but it not been got one firm commitment. Lot of also by administrative visa also. This again commitment it not been come up. So
Donald questioned the government if there has been talks regarding this matter between PNG government and the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on his recent visit. In response to this question, Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso confirms that these were some of the points discussed with the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, and the matter will be looked at to make it flexible and also make available an office within the country to process a visa.
I think a Prime Minister bring him up in this when the Foreign Minister and the Prime Minister of Australia has assured us that they will be looking into the matter. They will be looking into the matter to bring back the office to Port Moresby, process him all visa blumi, and also look at ways they all can book him all visa blumi hariap liglik.
Rosso highlighted that he will be writing to the Leader of Opposition in Australia to address this in their House of Parliament. Rosso added that the Department of Immigration will do reciprocated treatment when granting visa to other countries.
So they are a nation of their own, so this is bawokim. But we can make that reach out to them and ensure that all line law have must try to reciprocate one time more good passing in working long. I will also make it my business as a current Immigration and Labour Minister to also write to my opposite number and the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia in writing and raising the issues with them also, which I am very concerned about too.
Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
As peace talks are ongoing in the Enga province, political and community leaders have also involved to make peace between warring clans, setting a good precedence in the whole of Enga province. The Kompiam Ambum district is one such example where leaders have come together to show their support for peace and well-being to prevail from this year onwards.
Kompiam Ambum is one of 6 districts in the Enga province. With tribal fights frequent in the province, political and community leaders together with police are determined to change the perception of the province. Former MP and community leader Tom Amayu was in Kompiam Station to make peace between warring clans for a tribal fight that broke out last year relating to the election. This then resulted in people of Kompiam Central area and surrounding villages having difficulties to move around. To maintain peace, the leader led his clansmen to initiate peace. Enga's Provincial Police Commander George Kakas accompanied the former MP to Kompiam Station for the peace ceremony. PPC Kakas told MTV News the Pinai tribe, led by Mr. Tom Amayu, paid 80,000 kina and 130 pigs as compensation to 3 different tribes to simply say sorry and to reclaim their land. After almost 3 years, the mothers and children of the Pinai tribe can now return to their land and begin a fresh start. Lindy Suharupa, National MTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2840 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.2765 US, $0.3923 Australian dollars, $0.2487 euro, 35.94 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold is trading lower, coffee closed lower, cocoa closed lower, copra closed lower, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading higher, and copper closed lower. On the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National MTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National MTV News. Enga provincial government made a contribution of 300,000 kina in cheque form, which was presented to Rural Airstrip Agency by Governor Sir Peter Ipatas. This money will go towards assisting the rural airstrips in the province. Since the establishment of Rural Airstrips Agency of PNG Limited by the national government, Enga Province was one of the first provinces in the country to partner with Rural Airstrip Agency in 2014. Since then, the Rural Airstrip Agency assisted Enga Province with maintenance and operations of its rural airstrips to help locals in the remote parts of the province to get to and from to receive services.
As a province, we have a lot of airstrips, and so we have been giving priority over the last 8-9 years, and as part of our contribution to the Rural Airstrips Agency, we are here to make a contribution, as always, our contribution to reaching out to our people. In the past, we are happy with the progress that's been made, opening up and partnering us to maintain some of the airstrips in our province. So we see that the Rural Airstrips Agency has been quite effective in managing these airstrips, rural airstrips. So,
having more than 10 rural airstrips operating in the province, today Enga Governor Sir Peter Ipatas submitted a cheque of 300,000 kina to Rural Airstrips Agency to help with the continuous maintenance of its existing airstrips in the province, with the opening of 6 other airstrips in the province.
In the past, we have contributed up to 175, I think, but this time we decided to give you a 300,000 kina, so you can focus on Enga more than other areas. So money talks, huh? You give the money, you have to divert your attention to our province.
He said the dispersed and isolated population and mountainous terrain of the country makes air travel the sole means of transportation to many parts of the rural areas in the country. He added that air travel is vital in terms of economic and social development. With a total of 60,000 kina needed annually to maintain and fix per airstrip, the 300,000 kina is vital and beneficial to Rural Airstrip Agency to restore existing airstrips in the province.
It was 2014 to work on about 7 of your airstrips, and this year, according to the list, you wanted 6 more, and they are listed here. I will give you the list of every one of those airstrips that we have been involved in, and we are going to be involved in this year and going forward.
The Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru, has welcomed the Australian government's commitment to work with Papua New Guinea on the special economic zones. Important points were discussed on a meeting earlier this week with Australian High Commissioner to PNG, John Philp, at the Office of International Trade and Investment in downtown Port Moresby.
International Trade and Investment Minister Richard Maru said he is interested in working with Australian investors in the Manu Special Economic Region and the Western Province Special Economic Zone. Upon alluding on this, he said that he is determined to work with potential Australian investors to look into the development of feed, cotton, cattle, and chicken industries of PNG. Minister Maru also said he made mention on the importance of investing in carbon credit. Minister Maru requested the Australian government to help PNG fund the development of hybrid electricity systems in provinces like Manus, New Ireland, East and West Sepik provinces. Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
Western Highlands Criminal Investigation Division is the first command in the country to receive desktop computers and office stationaries amounting to 29,000 kina. The presentation was done today at the police headquarters by ACP Crime Hodges at Director Crime Joel Simatab. On hand to receive the office equipment was the Provincial Police Commander for Western Highlands Province, Superintendent John Sagom.
In a small yet significant ceremony today, senior officers from the Police Headquarters Crimes Division presented 6 desktop computers and other office stationaries to PPC Sagom. This is a first-of-its-kind support from Crimes Division towards CID officers stationed in provincial commands. ACP Crimes Mr. Hodges Ete said the work of the CID is very important and such equipment is vital in their day-to-day work. Director Crimes Mr. Joel Simatab said that these kinds of support will continue in line with Commissioner Manning's declaration of 2023 being the year of law and order. In receiving the equipment, PPC Sagom wholeheartedly thanked ACP Crimes for the support and assured him that this equipment will go into good use. A very delighted PPC Sagom further added that there is currently 1 computer set up at the CID office in Mount Hagen Police Station. Therefore, this help will greatly assist CID officers in the provincial capital and also in Baya Lumusa and in Kagamuga police stations, respectively. The next province to receive such help will be the East New Britain province. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
Leaving no one behind and ensuring school dropouts get a second chance with education is what the Asia Pacific Institute of Applied Social, Economic and Technical Studies of APSETs have been doing for the past decade. Today, the school, through its director Thomas Gamu, signed an MOA with Parul University and Indian University based in Vadodara, Gujarat, India. The partnership now sees PNG students have an opportunity to study at the Multicultural University in India.
Over the years, the school known as the Asia Pacific Institute of Applied Social, Economic and Technical Studies, or APSETs, has been churning out educated Papua New Guineans in various fields to contribute to the development of Papua New Guinea. The school has affiliation to universities both in the Asia Pacific region and Australia. Today, a milestone memorandum of agreement signing and announcement of scholarship offered at the Parul University.
We have 38 plus faculties, different faculties like engineering, pharmacy, medical, business administration, nursing, paramedical and health science, social work, commerce, and many other. You can find more details on our website as well. In campus, we have 45,000 students pursuing their courses starting from diploma, bachelor, master up to doctorate level. And we have a residency of 21,000 students on our campus for boys and girls. That means 21,000 students residing on our campus.
Mr. Anjaria also spoke on the Parole University and what the university has to offer.
The students who are studying or who has completed their study from Asia Pacific and they are passing through Asia Pacific, Parole University is offering them a 50% scholarship on their tuition fees. So if let's say the tuition fees for any program for the entire year is going up to let's say $3,600 or let's say $3,200 or something, that will be reduced to $1,800 or $1,600. So I think that will be a very good opportunity. As I said, university, we have our own hostels on the campus, wherein just by paying very nominal fees, if even I will say it's a yearly, let's say only $2,000, and you will be allowed for the accommodation with your breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything on the campus.
The man behind APISET's Thomas Gamu was pleased with the MOA and spoke on why the institution decided to partner with Parole University.
Amazingly, Parole University has decided to give us 50% scholarship for all the courses that our students get enrolled in. So we are passing that scholarship given to us to our students.
The director also announced 5 Papua New Guineans who will be travelling to India as part of the first recipients of the scholarship. Mr. Gamu also stated that those interested to know more about Parole University can visit the APISET's office at Hohola and see the country representative. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
The former North Queensland Cowboys superstar and phone house ambassador Jonathan Thurston visited Lae today, where he interacted with fans and visited phone house outlets within the city.
Thurston's visit coincided with visits to safe houses and family and sexual violence centers where Phone House has been in support of. Thurston says this was his first time to visit Lae, and he enjoyed the visit to Phone House outlets and the welcome he received from the people.
My time here with the people from Phone House and visited their stores, and this is my first time up here to Lae with Phone House. I've been here before, but I've been visiting.
He says it was fun meeting with Phone House staff and to interact and get to know them. He also spoke to them about leadership and getting work done together as a team.
They've got an emerging leaders group, so I had lunch with them as well yesterday and spoke to them about leadership and their role, what they're going to be looking out for, and I suppose the biggest thing is making sure that they're communicating to their team about what they want from them, and make sure they keep a close eye on the way that they're doing their job. So, yeah.
He added that the values of a company and how they help Papua New Guineans is important, and Phone House has been doing just that in helping the betterment of PNG people. He says the company is planning to expand to other centers of the country, and they are currently eyeing East New Britain province. Thurston applauded the employees and their presentation towards the customers and says it is something you see around the world, and it is good to see Phone House having some good employees. His one-day visit was a surprise to many rugby league fans in Lae, and he is also supportive of Phone House contribution to the safe houses where victims of family and sexual violence are kept and treated. Lisa Puni, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Following the recent visit of former North Queensland NRL icon and current Phone House ambassador Jonathan Thurston to Port Moresby, a press conference was held where the star aired his view on PNG's bid to staging the 18th NRL team. The Cowboys great stated that the Kumuls displayed great performances during the Rugby League World Cup, which stands as a boost to PNG to forming the 18th NRL team.
Original toss straight.
The North Queensland Cowboys great was in Port Moresby for a few days as ambassador to Phone House, and the rugby league great Jonathan Teston has said PNG rugby league players who moved overseas and have reached the NRL stage are stars in the likes of Justin Olam, David Mead and others before them. Teston said the mad love for rugby league in PNG, along with our local stars, shows PNG has the ability to field an 18th NRL team.
Excited to be welcoming Jonathan back to PNG and Port.
Additionally, the performances put up by the Kumuls during the recent Rugby League World Cup is commendable, where the Kumuls made it to the quarter-finals of the competition, and as such, there should be a good development pathway put in place for the players so as to develop their skills and talents.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Teston further added that PNG and the Pacific have a passion for rugby league, and it would be great to see PNG fielding the 18th NRL team.
You know, there's a push for an 18th team to come from PNG. I'm employed by the Cowboys, so we cover far North Queensland, out to Mount Isa and down to Gladstone. So I know that the Northern Pride tried to get something started with the Kumuls over here to get into the NRL, but it would be good for that relationship between Australia and PNG to have an NRL side. But
Teston went on to add that he is affiliated with the Cowboys, and seeing the recent inclusion of one of SPPNG Hunters' young gun Sylvester Namo onto the 2023 North Queensland Cowboys train-on squad proves that there is a high possibility for PNG rugby stars to reach NRL. Lisa Puni, Chukai Sports.
Meanwhile, in line with the PNG's bid to fielding NRL's 18th team, Cowboys great Jonathan Thurston alluded that there has to be a development pathway put in place for PNG players to better their skills and talents in the sport of rugby league.
Really enjoying it. It's a lot easier.
In order for a dream to turn into reality, one has to have it written, which then becomes a daily reminder so that one knows where he is going. These were the exact words of Cowboys great Jonathan Teston. There are a number of development pathways put in place by the Australian NRL that PNG NRL players have become stars out of, such as the recent inclusion of 4 SPPNG Hunters players into the Dolphins train-on squad, as well as the inclusion of Sylvester Namo onto the Cowboys train-on squad.
You're very sore, so they've got incredible skill. They're born to play rugby league here in PNG, and you know, they did extremely well in the World Cup last year as well. So hopefully, you know, there's a good pathway for the kids now to come through with the PNG Hunters, and hopefully making that step from, you know, the Queensland Cup or the Intrust Super Cup to that next level and getting contracts with the NRL team. So yeah, it's a good breeding ground for NRL players to come out of here. And
Teston added that apart from these players, creating strategic pathways in the second-tier competitions such as the Host Plus Cup would also boost the chances of PNG NRL players to securing contracts with NRL. The same goes for the women rugby players, and Elsie Albert is the living testament of these. She is currently contracted with the Dragons. Lisa Puni, Chukai Sports.
Chukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
You're watching Chukai Sports. Moving to overseas sports now, and women's football trailblazer Daisy Pearce has announced her retirement from the AFLW.
The 34-year-old has revealed the decision in front of her Melbourne teammates at the MCG. Pearce first established herself at state level as a teenager prior to the introduction of the AFLW. She went on to play 55 league games, captaining the Demons to a premiership last season.
It probably mostly came down to the fact that I just had this feeling of contentness inside me that is a new feeling to me as a football player. I think no matter what's happened over the journey, content has never been something that I've felt. So as the weeks ticked by post-season this year and whilst there were definitely little spurs of thinking about going back to back and getting on the bike and feeling myself get swept up in goals and what I was chasing and what averages of power I was trying to hit and all of those normal athlete feelings that kick in. There was also an element of, just an overall satisfaction and feeling like that chapter of my life is a full one, and I'll take away some amazing relationships, memories that will last a lifetime, and a real excitement and optimism about what's next for me and for my family.
Australian rider Grace Brown is still celebrating after taking out the women's tour Down Under.
Riders had to deal with sweltering conditions as well. Three-time winner Amanda Spratt opened up a 19-second buffer with a gutsy move up the dreaded Corkscrew Road climb. But Brown reeled her in to steal the victory in the final kilometre, sprinting to the finish line and collecting the first ever Women's Pro Cycling World Tour title in the Southern Hemisphere.
Day 3 of the Australian Open, and Novak Djokovic has begun his quest for a 10th Australian Open title in style.
Beating Spain's Roberto Caballas Baena in straight sets, 6-3, 6-4, 6-love. Australia's number 22 seed Alex de Minaur had to wait for the roof to be closed because of rain before he sealed a comfortable win. Fellow Aussie Alexi Poprin won through after a mammoth 5-set match which lasted till 2 in the morning local time. And we are still talking about this result. Andy Murray winding back the clock, pulling off a huge 5-set win over Italian 13th seed Matteo Berrettini. In the women's draw, number 2 seed Ons Jabeur survived a scare to win her first round match. And earlier, Australian Kimberly Birrell pulled off an incredible upset, beating Kaya Kanepi in 3 sets.
That ends Trukai Sports. The weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby, partly cloudy with possible patchy rain. Daru and Kerema, partly cloudy with a shower or two. Alatau, few showers and possible thunderstorm. Popondetta, some showers and possible thunderstorm easing into cloudy periods. In the Momase region, Lae, cloudy periods with few showers and possible thunderstorm. Medeng, some showers and thunderstorm easing into cloudy periods. Wewak and Vanimo, cloudy with some showers and thunderstorm. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, Kimbe and Buka, few showers and possible thunderstorm. KVN, Kokopo and Rabaul, cloudy periods with few showers. In the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, cloudy with some rain showers and possible thunderstorm, then morning fog. Goroka and Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, some rain showers, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Wednesday, the 18th of January 2023. From the entire news team, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.